around Deçanit Monastery.
Yeah, so on Deçanit Monastery, I think the U.S. government and all our Quint partners are fairly clear. For us, this is a rule of law issue. I've heard a lot of arguments and a lot of concerns about the court decision and a lot of suggestions about different factors that should have been considered as this decision moved forward. Fair enough. But my understanding is those issues did come up in the court process, and ultimately, after an initial court decision and an appellate court decision, it went to the Constitutional Court. And in a democracy, once a constitutional court has made a determination, the expectation is that decision will be implemented. So we believe it is important that this Deçanit Monastery decision be implemented, and that's been part of my conversation with this government.
And what does it mean that the Kosovo institutions are not fulfilling this decision?
We find that disappointing. We've been fairly clear.
Can there be repercussions?
That's a hard question to answer. It certainly does affect the view of some of how committed Kosovo is to fulfilling all of the elements of the rule of law. And we believe it's important for this government, as any government before it, because this isn't the only government that hasn't implemented this Constitutional Court decision, to do so. But it is not going to be something that fundamentally alters our partnership.
Mm-hmm. And we should not fear that Serbia will use this as a precedent to ask for other concessions for properties in Kosovo?
I can't speak to what Serbia would or wouldn't do. In my limited experience with constitutional court decisions, some are very unique. You know, the legal term, I think, is sui generis. It's about a specific case in a specific moment in time. Some have broader applicability. That is, again, in a democracy, not a political decision, but a decision by an independent judicial branch of government.
We still don't have a clear position, or mainly we heard representatives of the government saying that they will not implement the White House agreement achieved between President Trump, President Vučić, and former Prime Minister of Kosovo, Abdullah Hoti, on September 4th. So, yes, they say the recognition from Israel is good, but then we have concerns about other topics there.
Yeah, so the Washington commitments, they seem to have attained almost a mythology. So there's a number of elements of them that have actually been implemented. The opening of some of the border crossing points, a study that we did with regard to water use in the north, some other things. Our position is this administration looked at the Washington commitments early on and validated a number of those commitments. We have worked with this government and the Serbian government on seeing some of them implemented. And
validated?
Well, there was a policy review. Yes. Does the U.S. government believe that this agreement still should be implemented in some way? And the policy review determined yes, in general.
All the points there?
That's a complicated question to answer because some are very, very technical, and there's like 19 or 20 different commitments. What I would say is the things that we have a strong interest in seeing implemented, we are feeling some success in seeing them implemented. Again, I will talk about the border crossings, the road crossings, our work with regard to providing the government options on energy, things like that. And we're reasonably comfortable with where that stands.
What about the open Balkans and Balkan Schengen issue? It was one of the points